record it in the thing?
Yeah,
Anyway.
you can record to your system or
Yeah, I'm recording it to the
like
system.
that.
Just share it with you after that. Okay.
Mm.
So basically, yeah, make mention person-centered care,
Mm.
person-centered geriatric and disability care, whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Um, so
These
course
titles
comprises.
are okay, or you
Don't mention this. Those course comprises of the
okay.
following. In India, they don't use the term units, right? They use the term subject or module.
Mo in online courses, modules they use.
Modules is more a common term, isn't it?
Yeah, but for like face-to-face courses, subjects, or in that also module, like
Module
in
works, right?
distance
I
education
think,
and our module
yeah,
is there. Yeah.
yeah. I think we should remove the word units because that is not something they're familiar with. So course comprises
Yes.
of modules. Don't say
Ah,
from because we've already said it's based on that thing. So remove that.
okay.
Don't have to
Mm.
use the training package and all that.
Okay, okay.
Course comprises of modules. Um,
Mm.
align with the Indian healthcare practices, that is contextualized to align with Indian healthcare practices and regulations while meeting Australian qualification standards. Okay, that's good. Which include these are names straight off of the thing, right? This is what it was straight off of our training package, correct? I
No,
think so.
no, no. I have modified all the names when I sent proposal. So from that only I
Okay.
took it. So,
So it is this like some of them seem pretty close, like comprehend
oh, oh,
follow safe work practices for direct client care. I remember
yeah, that
it.
same thing I just rephrased. So we have to like we can do like different way. I thought when we do RPL and all that name something they want to
No, no, what
see.
we can do is when we do
Ah,
RPA, we'll have a separate document which
ah,
maps whatever we do to their units.
ah.
You'll have a separate
Okay, okay.
document saying, like for example, let's just say module A, B, C, D, or whatever. Module A
Ah,
maps to CHC CCS 038 or something like that. We have to have
ah.
that document
Oh,
in place
oh,
so that
okay,
we
okay.
know a person finished module A will
Ah,
directly be equal to this
ah. Oh,
unit or
yeah,
multiple
Australian
units
packet.
also. Depending on how we
Okay.
cluster the stuff,
Yeah.
it may
Ah,
map to multiple units also.
okay, okay.
Understand?
Yeah.
So we
Ah.
have to create that for ourselves. It doesn't have to be
Mm,
given to the student. We have it for ourselves, so we know when a student is
mm,
wanting to go for an Australian qual, then we can say,
mm,
hey, this and this is the evidence you need to show them. This is
mm,
the extra stuff. For example, following safe work practices, we don't have to explain Australian law to them for Indian course.
mm.
Whereas if they
Yes.
want to go
Oh,
for
I
an
understand.
Australian call, we have to fill that gap.
Mm, mm.
Understand? So we have to at
Ah,
that point say you have to do a little bit of extra assessment, a little bit of extra training because it has to be
mm.
contextualized to the Australian setting. Correct?
Okay, okay. Yeah,
So
I
we need to
understand.
mention about the Australian WHS regulations and
Mm,
infection control regulations and things like that. So at that
mm,
time, if they choose for the Australian call, then we can say, okay, we need to do this extra bit of gap training and then give them the evidence they need and say you will be mapped to this, this, and this. Okay, and
okay,
they can
okay.
take
Yeah.
that whether to IHNA or they can take it to any RTO that has this course. We are basing it on
Okay,
IHNA because it's convenient for us. If they want
okay,
us to
okay.
get us RPL through IHNA, then we can say IHNA here. Here, this is the evidence. This is the student. Here is the all the things you need for completing the RPL process, and they can finish it easily. Whereas if they go to
Okay.
someone else, they can still take it and they can use that for
Mm-hmm.
for themselves. So that would be a separate piece of document for us. So when we are
Mm,
doing this in our mind, we need to know which units we are referring to in our, so we'll have a separate
mm,
document that maps our
mm,
units
mm, mm.
to the training.gov units. Okay.
Okay, okay.
All right. So here
Mm,
I'm just thinking instead of mm, if we can make this look even more simpler, would it be better? Is my thing. It's a simple thing like, personalized support or healthy body,
Okay.
healthy body
Yeah,
system. Empowering elderly and disabled persons,
Okay.
something like that, something
Yeah.
short and
I'll
simple,
try. Yeah.
empowerment, something like that, person-centered
Okay.
support, communication. You can just say effective communication, or
Mm.
things like that. If we can just try and see if we can make it simpler, so it is
Yeah. I'll try and I'll send to you.
so if
Yeah.
you
I'll
can do
make it
that.
simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before I was
Okay.
thinking we have to connect with that. At least something should be there, that words or
So for
something
us,
with the training
it
point.
is our own thing, right?
Okay.
We can always connect. We know where it's
Okay.
coming from. So while you're doing
Hmm.
it in a separate piece of document, always keep track of what we are connecting to what. We need to map it basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we will get lost. Okay. Because right now, I know this
That's
is probably 1 or 2 units that it's dealing with this. Like effective communication, definitely there are 2 units. There's one on communication, there's one on legal and ethical practice, I think. Yes, there are 2 units.
cluster.
So we'll have another piece of document saying this maps to this and this,
Okay. Sure.
that will help us. And I think having module 1, 2, 3, 4 or A, B, C, D or something like that, we could create.
Okay.
Okay?
That sequence, we can follow any sequence, like we have to see the
The
content and
sequence, let's see. I mean, I still feel it'll be good for us to start with the basic stuff like communication and legal stuff,
okay.
infection control,
Mm-hmm.
all those safe work practices. That should come. I feel that should come before we even get into anything else. So if you start touching the client without knowing what safe work practice is,
Yes.
probably not a
Correct.
healthy thing to do. There is also I did not put diversity in here, because in India, I mean, we are all diverse anyway.
Oh,
I
okay.
did not put,
Okay.
and I did not put up Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander stuff here, because that is
Okay.
relevant to Indian setting. Okay. Whereas
But if they want RPL, we will give additional gap training
we
or
have to
something.
tell them we have to give this gap training so you can get those units. Okay. Even for diversity to me seemed pretty common in I mean, you go step out of the house, you're dealing with diverse people. Anyway, so I really didn't feel the need to add that.
Okay, that we can remove. Then it will come, I think, 10 units or
I
something.
thought we could incorporate it into communication itself. We're talking about diversity purely because we need to communicate with others.
Yes.
Language differences exist, right? We may have to train people in different languages for all you know. So if I go to
I
Kerala,
can
I
trust
may have
that.
to teach in Malayalam. If I go into Andhra, I have to teach in Telugu or something. Same content, right?
Yes.
Because most people who are trying to work in that space may or may not know English also.
Correct. So we
Right?
can cluster it. We can
I
include
think
that
so.
too.
We can include it, depending on our type of crowd that we get, we can modify it accordingly, right? That's why I didn't, effectively see with diverse populations, this thing can go directly into this. Engaging effectively with diverse populations, we can probably combine these two also, right?
Okay, fine. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Let's see how it goes. These, of course, I think should be fine. Legislative requirements, as far as India is concerned, I don't think there is anything, as far as I know. There are no laws or regulations in terms of, as far as I know, that's what I understand from talking to the industry there. There are no regulations for people who come and take care of our elderly.
Okay. Maybe that like organization only having something like otherwise.
If we start one, we have to have our own policies and procedures.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I would say in this case, in general, there is none, but there's nothing wrong in putting it out there so that we are safe, I guess. May take out Australia for our purposes.
Australia.
Right?
Okay, fine.
It's only India we're looking at. Entry requirements, I think this is okay, no?
Whatever you have put.
English and a local language, I would think.
Yeah, but I didn't understand, Sarah. Like you have mentioned in English, if medium is instruction English only, they have to proficient in English. But if the medium of instruction is Tamil or this one
They
means
don't
if
have
they
to.
want to go to Australia, if they want to go and all, they
Then
have
no
to.
choice. It has to be English.
Okay. Otherwise, they can take this course anyway. Indian
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
They can take the. I'm only thinking in terms of. I mean, this is I'm thinking out loud. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. A person who comes there
Mm.
who normally works in this space are all blue collar
Mm.
workers right now, right?
Mm. Mm.
Those
Mm.
who come,
Mm.
if I want to take care of my parents, elderly parents, I'm looking for people.
Mm.
They're not like well-educated people or something. They just,
Mm. Mm.
anybody, I can go to my village and pick up somebody and ask them to come and take care of them. So if I'm going to train somebody like that, they may or may
Mm.
not, they may not know English. So it's going to be somebody with no English language skills. But if I'm going to train somebody who wants to go abroad and study,
Mm.
then English is an
Mm.
requirement. So we may have to put
Mm.
two clauses or something. So if you want
Yeah, like that.
local, if you want to study, work locally, then English is not
Ah,
required. Whereas
okay,
you're
okay.
planning to go abroad or different clientele based on that, then
Mm.
English is
Ah,
the requirement. Even if you're going,
okay.
to another
Yeah,
state.
but this is the entry requirement, no, Sarah. For entering that course means it's not, but for future work like that.
But yeah, entry requirement, you can't teach them English now at that point.
Yeah.
So if they are coming in with the that
Uh,
they are going to go abroad and work, some of them can,
mm,
even without an Australian qual can. Like the one that IHN is doing, that the
mm,
one you told, right? The one vocational geriatric course that they have,
mm.
that is
Yes,
the Indian
this is
version of it. And
yes.
they and many people who take that course have gone to UK and stuff.
Mm, mm,
They
mm.
didn't have to take individual support. They just took that Indian course and ended up in UK.
Yes, yes.
Right. So it's not, so if that people like that, if we can get, they definitely need
Mm.
English.
Okay. Yeah, but for entering this course is we can specify like something
They
English.
have to be proficient in English if they are,
Ah,
depending on where they are looking for jobs. Maybe just leave it like that. Let's not worry
yeah,
about
yeah.
it.
That's why. Yeah. That's why I'm thinking now because anyway you said like for job requirement only they need it, but we are teaching English only, no? So they.
Yeah, we're going to be teaching in English unless, they're
Ah,
totally no English and they're coming from a totally, local language medium, then we have to think about teaching in that language also. Like
oh,
yesterday,
okay,
day
okay, okay.
before, I met with that Anvaya people. I spoke to that guy and he said,
Uh,
he's like, I need somebody who can speak in English. I mean, speak in Telugu. I want people
uh-huh.
who speak in Telugu to do this work. And I said, okay, if that is the case, then I'll have to come to. And first of all, you're saying, can you offer the course in Hyderabad? I said, that is not a problem. We can always offer the course in Hyderabad. But
Uh,
if they're only speaking in Telugu, then we have to offer it in Telugu. Correct. We have to teach in
yes.
Telugu, right?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, how will they learn? So we need to think in those lines. We have to
Okay,
think
okay, yeah.
about those who are only planning to sit in the country and do the work in a certain area,
Mm,
and we are also
mm,
looking at those who are planning to wanting to step out.
mm, mm. Okay, okay.
So the type of
Mm-hmm.
people you will get for both will be different.
Okay, okay, yeah,
Like
yeah,
I might
understood.
even get
Mm,
a nurse who's studying, and come and do this course so that she'll have an opportunity to get out, or somebody who's doing like what do they call ANMs in India? Like an enrolled nurse?
yes, assistant,
Ah,
assistant nurse. Yeah,
yeah,
nursing
yeah,
assistants, I am.
yeah, yeah. So somebody like that who's just sort of, trying to find another way to get out of the country, something like this would help, right? I,
Oh, okay.
I know I had a dentist who came to Perth and did this course as a student. Dentist. I even have, doctor in one of my mental health
Ah,
classes. Remember? I think was it mental health or community services? I can't remember now. He's a doctor, a full-fledged doctor. Okay, to taking one of our courses just to survive here. So people like
Yes.
that, English is not a problem,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they can take our course and get RPL and keep moving. So we
Mm-hmm.
need to, I think from what's happened, I'm looking at is we need to have two different versions of the course, one in English, one in
Uh-huh.
the local language.
Local language,
To some
yes.
extent, at least wherever we are starting, whether it is in in Chennai or Hyderabad or whatever, we need to have something in the local language, so we can
Okay, okay.
impart the thing. So at least we should have enough skills for them to be able to show that they can actually perform. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
entry requirements, maybe we need to specify candidates who are wanting to pursue higher education should definitely be proficient in English. If they are candidates only
Mm-hmm.
to learn this job and move, that is not a major requirement, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
look for maybe that kind of clause or something there, if you can put, like how we put for domestic students, for international students or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Same way for those who are planning to work in India or abroad, and for those who are planning to work only in the respective states or something. Even if they move from state to state, the local language won't work. They still need English,
Yes.
right? To
Fine.
some extent,
Mm-hmm.
they have to have English as a common language. But if they're planning to only be within that state, then they can learn in their local language or something. Um,
Okay.
See, put and see, and then we'll see what others think when we
Yeah,
get
yeah, I'll try.
that. Yeah. Okay. And then philosophy, okay, adapted to suit the Indian culture while preparing
But
students.
I just added. Is that okay?
Okay. While preparing students for, don't say just Australian, maybe say
Ah,
preparing students for global, to meet the global
okay, okay, okay.
global, what should we say? Education, while preparing
Yeah.
students to meet the global healthcare needs, maybe, rather
Mm.
than just specifically Australian, because they may go
Yes.
to Middle East or they may go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When Israel and all now, the
yeah,
carers are much.
I know. There is a demand
Mm.
everywhere, actually. So there is, instead
Yes,
of Australian, put global
yes.
health needs or something like that, right?
Mm.
Uh, Target group, the course is suitable for professionals, or migrate to upskill or migrate
Anyway,
to
like
other countries.
globally or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
migrate to overseas, or okay,
Okay, okay,
migrate
okay. Yeah.
overseas. Caregivers, home health aides and staff in aged care facilities, aged care and disability.
Uh-huh. Okay. Mm.
Individuals interest, but okay, I think we're putting here in any geriatric and disability care. Okay, course learning outcomes upon complete, students will demonstrate competence in providing individual support for aging and disability, adhering to legal, ethical, and industry standards. I think we can expand on this course learning outcomes.
Okay, okay, okay.
Communication. You
Yeah.
can pretty much
How
mention
how we
anything
are
that is here.
writing? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty
All
much,
together, I'll
yeah,
expand. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
Pretty much mention all of that stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pathways successful may lead to employment opportunities in India, disabilities and related healthcare settings. Students may also ensure occupational outcomes then. Okay,
That
occupation
I have added
specific.
somewhere again. Down I have added
Occupational outcomes
occupation.
is you make that. Here, don't mention employment opportunity. Here, pathways is looking at
Oh,
further studies.
further
Specific.
studies. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So they can
Mm-hmm.
finish this course and get a diploma, or go into bachelor's or something.
Mm-hmm.
Further
Okay.
studies, migrate. Don't worry, don't put migrating to opportunities to Australia also. Let's not, it's almost like we're saying, we're guaranteeing it. We can't guarantee it.
Yeah, correct.
So I think graduate outcomes, yeah, that's will be equipped to work as aged care, blah blah blah, Indian health with the aided advantage. No, we are not getting Australian qualification recognition unless
Recognition.
it is equivalent to an
Yeah.
Australian. We want to keep it that way. but we need to
Okay.
go through
I'll
that.
remove that.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
need to add that.
yeah.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
need to
Okay.
add that, I think, in this. Location of delivery will be in conducted at designated facilities and partner workplaces and through virtual platforms. That is fine right now. Leave it at that. Duration or amount of training, full time, 3 months. I think we have to split this now. I mean, this is
Uh,
general, like, how in
uh,
our TAS we say for each unit, how much time are we going to spend on it? We
okay,
have to
okay,
split
okay.
that. So
Yeah.
let's create a first of all, let's create what modules are going to be, like module A, module B.
Mm.
Once we do that, then let's think about how much time we're going to spend. Simple, we'll make it contact hours, non-contact hours for each
Okay, okay.
unit. Simple contact
Ah.
hours will be the time we are spending in class with them, or whether
Mm.
it's online or face to face, and
Mm.
non-contact is outside. Normally, if you spend 1 hour inside the class, a person has to spend at least 2-3 hours outside the class. 1:2,
Okay.
that is the normal. So if I spend
Mm.
20, let's say I'm spending 40 hours for a particular
Mm.
unit, you can
Mm.
say anywhere between 80 to 120 hours outside. You can do
Mm.
1:2, okay, approximately 40 and 80 or
Mm.
something like that. Okay, that would be the
Mm. Mm.
normal ratio.
Mm.
So we need to, based on our experience, we can design the hours for each unit. Okay,
Mm.
and then
Mm.
once we put the hours, then we'll know exactly how long it's going to take us. Now that hours should include theory plus practical,
Mm.
correct?
Mm. Mm.
This should include
Theory and practical. Yeah.
together, right? So like some
Mm.
of these units, I don't think will take very long for us. We know, like, for example, illegal and ethical practice, diverse populations, within one day we can finish.
Okay. Okay.
If you want theory,
Sarah,
one day we'll
Sarah, can you give me 1 minute?
sure,
One
sure,
minute,
go ahead.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Sarah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Um,
So
so
the
duration,
theory and the practice. Yeah.
go ahead. So this one, and I think this and distribution of hours can kind of go together. Once you put them on
Okay.
the
Okay.
training, then you can put the distribution of hours there. Okay.
Okay.
Foundation
Mm.
skills, I guess that's okay if you are doing especially this. Um, I think it'll disconnect soon, so we can jump back in a few minutes using the same link.
Oh,
It's a 40-minute thing. It's a personal one. It's not
okay.
professional. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that is one. Then
Huh.
educational and supports are being comprehensive education, including that's fine. Training and assessment, training will be utilized competency-based assessments. He said that's okay. That is fine. Assessment matrix, basically it will be very similar. We'll have a theory and we'll have a practical component and we'll have on the job. I think they refer to it as on-job training. So OJT, I think that's what they call it in India.
We are like PEP instead of PEP, what we are
They call
practicals
it
or something you can
OJT.
mention.
They call it OJT.
Okay,
On-job
on job.
training. On-job training. Okay. So essentially the same thing. So we can use that terminology. I don't think there are any regulatory requirements. Okay, there is no
Okay, that we can
regulatory
remove.
requirements. You can say industry standards. Okay, reasonable adjustment, I guess that's fine. RPL, again, don't talk about RPL for Australian qual here. RPL for Indian qual we can do. Because there will be already
Okay,
people
okay.
who know the stuff can come and get RPL for some of the units. We'll create a separate document for the Australian qual altogether.
Okay. So no need to mention this RPL part here, or
No,
we can
keep
mention only
RPL, but don't talk about Australian pathways.
Australian pathways.
Okay, subject to assessment variant, but that is it. It's not to facilitate transition into Australian. It could be for the Indian qual itself. We can RPL for the Indian qualification itself. You understand?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do a separate RPL for the Australian qual separately.
Australia code.
Yeah, this one we'll have to, yeah, that's good. Textbooks, online resources. I'm most probably there won't be textbooks. We are going to give them training materials. I don't think there is any
Okay.
textbooks to show them how to clean and stuff unless we write our own textbook.
Okay.
Student resources, same thing as the above. Human resources, qualified trainers who deliver, okay, high quality training, physical, okay, that is fine. Third party, there is none at the moment, it's just us. Industry engagement process, it'll be similar. Validation of assessments, we'll do that. Specific resources, that is fine. I think we have a list of resources for aged care course. We can add that in. Okay. I have a list that I picked up. I can share that with you. Related documents, course outlines, assessment guides, and industry standards. You might want to, yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, we need course outline is the unit outline, I'm thinking, right? That's what you're thinking when you said course outline.
Course outline like assessment guide, related documents related to that, whatever we have, that things I added. Like
okay, so I'm thinking we
like same thing in the IHNS. So I
right.
just called
We
it
need
like
a unit outline. We need a session plan. We
unit
need
guide.
unit outline or guide assessment. Of course, the marking guides or the assessment guides, and we need like something to map, right? Those documents,
Yes.
essentially similar documents we'll have, and industry consultations. You can put that in also there.
Okay.
Okay, industry consultations in there. Okay. Yeah. So I think that is basically what we have to do. So maybe if you can just reword this, like safe work practices, you can talk about work health and safety, or you can say physical and psychological safety of workers and how do you say that of
in IHN it is work health and safety. That's why I just modified.
I know in
but
IHN it's
I'll come with the
WHS.
simple.
I mean, in general, Australian thing it's WHS, but it is we are looking at physical and psychological safety or psychosocial safety or something like that. Maybe.
Okay, I'll come with alternate, like
think
two or
of
three
something
alternatives.
different because
Yeah,
essentially
then we can choose.
Yeah, we can come up with something different. Yeah, basically they have to protect themselves and they have to protect the clients also. So physical safety and psychosocial safety is basically what we will be addressing here for when you're working with clients. Okay. Okay, so I think yeah, that's pretty much what it is, and we can modify that accordingly, and let's take a look at it again. Yeah. Okay. For the hours also, look at the nominal hours that we have in the current TAS And
Okay.
depending some units, I think we can reduce than
Mhm.
what it is all, because you would have noticed this. Some of the content is so simple, we don't need that much time to cover.
Yes, yes, right, Sarah.
Yeah, so I think we can definitely reduce the hours for some of the units. So we see,
Mm.
we have to try and when I thought full time, I actually looked at 40 hours a week. In India, people come for 5 days
Mhm.
a week, isn't it? Am I
Yeah.
correct about that?
So per day, how many hours you calculating? Like 5 days in a week, and
If a person is going to study this full time for 3 months, per day, I would say at least 5 to 6 hours a week, day.
full time 3 months.
Full
You are
time, three
thinking,
months.
but here
At
six
least
months,
six
no?
hours. No, full time is 3 months, part time is
Oh,
6 months.
okay, okay. Yeah. Full time 3 months.
So
So
the reason why I'm saying
per,
that is because IHNA does 6 months, and that is 20 hours a week.
okay. If
Correct.
we double the hours in a week,
So if they come
yeah.
every day, at least for 8 hours, we should be able
Hmm.
to complete it in 3 months technically.
Correct, correct.
Correct. So that was what I
Hmm.
had in mind. So, but if we are able to reduce the hours based on the units, we can finish
Hmm.
it comfortably in 3 months.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
See,
Hmm.
look at the training plan that we have in IHNA and see how many hours they've put, and see if some units maybe we can reduce it.
Yeah, we already start clustering now, Sarah. So
Yeah,
anyway, we'll get reduce the number.
we'll get reduced.
Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
So put
Mm.
those clustered units, and maybe those clustered units will be, each one will be a module essentially. The one you had
Mm-hmm.
clustered, each one would be a module, and give
Ah.
it either let's come up with in a naming convention or something like that. We can use letters,
Mm.
probably, and numbers or something, or a combination of a letter and number. What do you think? Something we can live with. So like module A1, A2, A3, or should we go with module
One,
but
two, three is better, like
one, two,
than
three? But I
ABC.
also
Usually
feel,
we are saying 1 to 3.
I know, but I also feel we should put something that it determines which subject we are dealing with. Like, for example, AD
Uh-huh.
will deal with aging and disability
Uh,
or something like that. You know what I mean?
Classification, like
Yeah.
yeah,
So if I'm doing
like
mental
a
health,
grouping.
I can put MH
Mm.
rather than AD. You know what I mean? Something like that. So that way, when
Mm-hmm.
you look at that, we know
Yeah.
the module is specific, is which module
Oh,
in
code
which
like
course or something like that. Right? Instead of
yeah,
module
like that
1, 2,
code,
3.
like yeah.
Yeah. So see if you can come
Mm-hmm.
up with something like that. For this, you can
Yeah,
stick with
I'll think.
AD if you want,
Mm-hmm.
aging and disability, and then put 001, 002 or something like that and come, because
Mm-hmm.
having that 0, 0 will give us the ability to go from 1 to 100.
Okay, okay.
Okay, I don't think we'll go more than 100 for sure. Okay. So we go 001, 002, 003, something like that. And we can also look at it and hierarchy wise. For
Mm.
example, AD001 is a much simpler unit compared to AD002 or something like that. You know what I mean?
Okay, okay. Yeah, understand. Yeah,
Or
yeah.
we could look at it,
Simple to complex where we are
yeah,
to.
simple
Mm-hmm.
to complex is also something we can put that in. Or what we are going to do, like, in the beginning as opposed to the end.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to stick with infection control, WHS in the beginning, so those are the courses that will have 001, 002, 003. Whereas when I'm talking about, palliative care, dementia care, it's more specialized, will be somewhere towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Okay.
much more, much more difficult in terms of content wise, I would put
Mm-hmm.
towards the end. So like that, maybe we can work out a naming system. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, see how you go with that. And then if you have questions, then you can come back. Are you
Yeah,
comfortable
I'll
with it?
start